The night settles quietly, and the world feels suspended in silence. Above, the sky begins to glow with a strange crimson light. It is not the red of fire, nor the blush of sunset, but something deeper. The color spreads slowly, washing the clouds in shades of dream and mystery. People pause in their steps, gazing upward, their hearts unsure. Some whisper in awe, others hold a quiet fear, but all are drawn to the sky. And within this moment, a story stirs, waiting to be told. For where there is mystery, there is always a traveler. His name drifts like a forgotten lullaby, soft yet eternal. Morpheus. He walks unseen, a weaver of dreams, stepping gently through the veil of night. Each footstep leaves no trace, yet echoes in the soul of those who dream. He does not seek to rule or to conquer, but to listen, to watch, to understand. The crimson glow above is not his doing, yet it calls to him like a song of longing, ancient and deep, resonating in every beating heart. Morpheus lifts his gaze, and the world seems to hold its breath. The story begins here, under the crimson sky, where night and wonder meet. The crimson dawn unfolded slowly, as though time itself hesitated to move. The sky shimmered with hues that were neither day nor night, only dream. It was not the gentle blush of morning, nor the fiery farewell of dusk. Instead, it was a sky painted in longing, an endless horizon of mystery. Clouds drifted in slow motion, glowing like embers within a quiet fire. The air felt heavy yet tender, as if holding secrets not yet spoken. Birds circled high above, their wings catching the red light like glass. The earth below glowed faintly, bathed in a soft crimson reflection. Every tree, every stone seemed touched by a strange, solemn beauty. People stood in silence, their voices hushed, their hearts suspended. Some clasped their hands together as though in prayer, seeking meaning. Others tilted their heads, lost in wonder, unable to name what they felt. Children asked their parents why the sky burned, but answers never came. Old stories returned in whispers, tales of skies that once spoke in colors. The villagers remembered the legends of skies blue, gold, and silver. Yet never had they seen a sky of red so wide, so endless, so alive. They feared not a storm, nor fire, but the unknown that stretched above. Morpheus watched quietly, his figure hidden among shadows of dawn. He was no stranger to skies, for he lived where dreams kissed the night. Yet even for him, the crimson dawn was unlike any vision he had woven. It pulsed like a heartbeat across the heavens, steady, insistent, eternal. He felt its pull deep within, a call that stirred every thread of his being. The horizon glowed brighter, and the air hummed with a low vibration. It was not sound as mortals know it, but a resonance within the soul. The villagers shivered as if touched by something ancient and unseen. One woman whispered that the sky was alive, breathing with desire. An elder nodded, recalling tales of the heavens mirroring human hearts. If so, then this crimson glow was not an omen of fear, but of longing. Longing that stretched across generations, binding souls in quiet ache. Morpheus understood that dreams did not simply belong to the sleeper. They were rivers that flowed into the sky, painting it with emotion. Every sigh, every hope, every unspoken wish rose upward like smoke. The crimson sky was the canvas of that collective yearning, unveiled. He lifted his gaze, his eyes reflecting the fiery horizon with calm. This was not chaos, not destruction, but a question waiting for answer. And so Morpheus stood, silent beneath the sky, listening with care. Every rustle of wind, every flicker of light spoke of hidden stories. The crimson dawn was a beginning, not an end, a door yet to open. And with it, the journey of dreams would unfold in ways unseen. The people waited. The sky glowed. Morpheus prepared to step forth. The story had only just begun, beneath the endless crimson veil. Morpheus began his journey as the crimson light stretched further across the land. He walked with steps that made no sound, yet carried the weight of dreams untold. The path before him shimmered faintly, as if woven by threads of forgotten wishes. Each stone on the ground seemed alive, humming softly with echoes of memory. The air was cool, touched with the fragrance of night lingering at the edge of dawn. Shadows moved gently, stretching long and thin beneath the crimson sky above. Morpheus walked past fields of tall grass that swayed like waves of an unseen sea. Each blade carried a glimmer, as though dipped in the colors of fading stars. Birds perched in silence, their eyes wide, watching the dream weaver with awe. He did not speak, for words were not needed in this moment of quiet passage. Instead, he listened to the world itself, hearing its whispers and soft sighs. The rivers he crossed ran like silver ribbons, reflecting crimson light on their skin. Their waters moved with slow grace, carrying the voices of ancient lullabies. Morpheus paused to touch the surface, and the ripples formed shapes of stories. Faces emerged for a moment, then faded, like clouds vanishing into still air. He saw the longing of children, the prayers of mothers, the silence of the lost. Every dream carried upward, rising like smoke, painting the canvas of the sky. The journey stretched further into forests where leaves glowed a pale red hue. Trees bent slightly, as if bowing to his presence, honoring the keeper of dreams. Between the branches, tiny lights floated like lanterns lit by hidden hands. They drifted slowly, carrying fragments of memories forgotten by waking minds. Morpheus reached out, and the lights circled him, pulsing softly with warmth. One light revealed laughter, another revealed love, another revealed sorrow. They were not his, but he bore them gently, weaving them into his silent path. The forest opened to meadows where flowers bloomed in impossible colors. Petals shimmered with silver veins, glowing faintly in the breath of morning. The wind carried a song through the fields, a melody without words, only feeling. It was the song of yearning, rising from every heart beneath the crimson veil. Morpheus listened, and in the rhythm he found a truth hidden from mortal eyes. The sky above was not a curse, nor was it a warning, but a mirror of desire. Desire for connection, for hope, for dreams yet unfulfilled in waking life. He walked on, following the song, each step guided by the pull of longing. The land grew stranger, more luminous, filled with shifting shapes of memory. At the edge of the meadow, he found a stone archway glowing faintly red. It was a gate not built by hands, but by the weight of dreams themselves. Morpheus paused, knowing that beyond it, the story would deepen and unfold. He placed a hand upon the stone, and it pulsed gently like a living heart. The journey was calling him further, into places where no mortal could go. And with quiet grace, Morpheus stepped forward, carrying the sky within him. Beyond the stone archway, Morpheus entered a land shaped by whispers and wonder. The crimson light deepened here, glowing softly across valleys and gentle hills. It was a place where silence carried weight, as if every breath held a secret. The air was filled with a faint hum, the vibration of countless hidden voices. Morpheus walked with steady grace, letting the land unfold before his eyes. He saw villages scattered like pearls across the wide, glowing horizon. The people stood together in small gatherings, their faces turned to the sky. They did not move, as though waiting for an answer to a question unspoken. Children clung to their parents' hands, pointing at the crimson heavens above. Elders sat in quiet reflection, recalling stories older than memory itself. The villagers' hearts beat as one, bound by awe, wonder, and unease. Some whispered prayers, others sang lullabies, hoping to soothe the sky. Morpheus paused at the edge of a village, unseen, yet fully present. He watched as a young girl reached her arms toward the glowing horizon. Her voice rose, fragile but clear, singing a melody of longing and hope. The song carried across the village, weaving into the hearts of all who heard. It was not sorrow that filled the sound, but a yearning too deep to name. Morpheus listened, and within the song he heard echoes of countless dreams. The villagers did not fear destruction, but the mystery of what the sky meant. For them, the crimson glow was a question, painted across the endless heavens. Morpheus stepped gently into the village, though his form was half a shadow. The people could not see him fully, yet they felt the air shift in his presence. A hush spread as the young girl stopped her song, sensing the unseen guest. The elders raised their eyes, their gaze soft, as if greeting an old friend. In that silence, Morpheus bowed his head, honoring their quiet faith. He walked among them without sound, yet their spirits stirred at his passing. One elder spoke softly, his words trembling like leaves in a quiet wind. He said the crimson sky was not new, but rare, and always full of meaning. It came when the hearts of many aligned, yearning for what had been lost. Sometimes it was peace, sometimes love, sometimes a dream forgotten. Morpheus listened closely, his presence like a lantern in the stillness. The elder spoke of ancient times when skies had burned with gold or silver. Each color had revealed the deepest desire of humankind in that age. But crimson, he said, was different, for it meant longing shared by all. It was not one dream, but a chorus, carried by every soul on earth. The people lowered their eyes, humbled by the truth of his words. Morpheus felt the weight of that longing pressing like a heartbeat in the air. The crimson glow was no curse, no omen, but the mirror of humanity's soul. And as the villagers stood in silence, Morpheus prepared to journey deeper. For within their yearning lay the path, and within the sky lay the answer. Morpheus left the village behind, carrying their whispers deep within his soul. The path curved gently upward, leading him toward a hill crowned in light. At the hill's crest stood an ancient tree, its branches silvered with age. Its roots spread wide, clutching the earth as if holding forgotten stories. The crimson glow above bathed the tree in fire and shadow, alive with power. Morpheus approached slowly, knowing this was a place of memory and truth. Beneath the tree sat a figure cloaked in twilight, still as stone, timeless. The figure raised its head, revealing eyes filled with the depth of centuries. It was the story keeper, guardian of tales too old for mortal tongues. Morpheus bowed gently, for he knew the weight carried in that presence. The story keeper spoke, and the voice was soft yet carried like thunder. It told of skies that reflected not the world above, but the hearts below. Blue skies marked serenity, golden skies hope, silver skies remembrance. But crimson, it whispered, was longing, a thread binding all living souls. The keeper's words fell like leaves, each carrying the shape of forgotten truth. Morpheus listened, his silence deep, his mind weaving the meaning within. The keeper stretched a hand, pointing toward the vast crimson horizon. "Do you see?" it asked. "This is not storm or fire, but the color of yearning." It spoke of hearts that dream of what is beyond reach, yet never forgotten. Of voices calling for unity, of hands stretching across unseen distances. The crimson sky was not a warning of endings, but a reminder of beginnings. Morpheus closed his eyes, hearing echoes of the villagers' silent prayers. He felt the harmony between their longing and the glow above them all. The story keeper rose slowly, staff in hand carved with symbols of time. It tapped the earth, and visions bloomed like fireflies in the dim light. Morpheus saw fields where lovers met, rivers where families sang in joy. He saw laughter shared, promises made, and dreams left behind in shadows. Each vision rose upward, weaving into the crimson tapestry of the sky. The keeper spoke again, saying that dreams unspoken are never lost. They linger in the world, seeking a vessel, painting the heavens in light. Morpheus felt the truth settle within him, steady and unshakable. He asked softly what must be done to understand the crimson sky's call. The keeper smiled faintly, as though hearing a question long awaited. "You must walk further," it said, "to where dream and dawn intertwine. There you will see the bridge of stars, where longing gathers in form." Morpheus bowed, his gratitude unspoken yet clear in the silence of night. The storykeeper lowered its staff, eyes glowing like embers of wisdom. "Remember," it said, "the sky mirrors the soul, and the soul seeks balance." With those words, the wind rose, carrying the sound of countless voices. The tree swayed gently, leaves glowing as though lit from within by dreams. Morpheus turned away, his heart steady, his path leading ever forward. The story keeper faded into shadow, leaving only silence on the hill. And so, beneath the crimson sky, Morpheus continued his quiet journey. The path led Morpheus into a valley where the light grew softer, almost tender. The crimson sky above pulsed gently, like the steady beat of a living heart. He felt its rhythm in his chest, resonating with something ancient within him. The air shimmered, filled with fragments of songs carried by unseen winds. Each note carried longing, each breath carrying a memory of what was lost. Morpheus paused to listen, and the sound became clear as a voice of truth. The valley was alive with echoes of human desire, deep and unspoken. They rose from the earth like mist, weaving upward into the glowing sky. Every whisper spoke not of fear, but of yearning for what could not be named. Some voices longed for peace, others for love, others for forgotten unity. Together, they formed a harmony that painted the heavens in crimson fire. Morpheus walked slowly, his presence steady, his heart open to the voices. The valley seemed endless, stretching with fields of shimmering flowers. Their petals glowed red and gold, swaying gently like dancers in silence. Each flower held within it a dream, blooming from the soil of human hearts. Morpheus reached out, touching one, and a vision rose like smoke in the air. He saw two lovers holding hands beneath a starlit sky, their eyes shining. Another flower revealed a family gathering, laughter echoing without end. A third showed a child building towers of light, eyes full of boundless wonder. These were not illusions, but truths, pieces of lives woven into dreamscape. Morpheus understood now that the crimson sky was a mirror of all humanity. It did not show one soul, but the chorus of many, woven together as one. Every longing, every hidden wish, painted the heavens in radiant color. The valley was sacred, a place where dreams converged and found voice. As he walked deeper, the visions grew stronger, filling the air with beauty. Morpheus felt the weight of longing not as sorrow, but as a living flame. It was a flame that connected all hearts, refusing to be forgotten or lost. The crimson sky above brightened, as if responding to his silent witness. He knelt in the grass, letting the voices flow through him without barrier. He heard children praying for kindness, elders yearning for harmony. He felt the silent ache of those who sought connection beyond distance. Each voice was a thread, and together they wove a tapestry of desire. Morpheus lifted his gaze, knowing he could not ignore the truth any longer. The crimson light was not danger, not doom, but the color of human unity. It was the proof that even in silence, every soul called out to the sky. He rose, his steps slow but filled with new certainty and quiet strength. The valley seemed to bow to him, the flowers glowing brighter as he passed. Dreams swirled around him, not heavy, but guiding, like stars in the night. Morpheus knew the journey was only beginning, and deeper truths awaited. For beyond this valley lay the bridge of stars, where longing took form, and there, he would learn the full measure of what crimson truly meant. Morpheus left the valley behind, the voices of longing still echoing in his soul. The path grew brighter now, touched by the glow of starlight descending. Before him stretched a vast expanse where night and dawn intertwined. It was here that the dream bridge shimmered, woven from threads of starlight. The bridge arched across the horizon, suspended above a sea of silence. Each step upon it promised revelation, yet carried the weight of eternity. Morpheus approached with steady grace, his eyes reflecting its radiance. The bridge was alive, pulsing with memory, whispering fragments of dreams. Every thread glowed with visions of lives once lived and yet to come. He placed a foot upon the first step, and the bridge sang like a harp. The sound was not music, but the resonance of countless human hearts. Morpheus walked forward, and with each step the song grew stronger. Visions swirled around him, rising like mist, weaving into the crimson glow. He saw children laughing by rivers, their joy brighter than morning light. He saw hands reaching for each other across distance, never letting go. He saw promises whispered at twilight, and vows carried by the wind. Every dream left unspoken formed the bridge upon which he now walked. The starlight beneath his feet shimmered, alive with unbroken longing. The air vibrated softly, as though the universe itself held its breath. Morpheus paused midway, gazing at the endless sea stretching below. It was not water but memory, reflecting every soul that ever had dreamed. Faces rose within it, smiling, crying, singing, all part of one great chorus. The bridge trembled. Gently, not from weakness, but from infinite depth. He understood then that no dream was ever truly lost or forgotten. Each unspoken wish became light, and each light became part of the sky. The crimson glow above pulsed brighter, mirroring the bridge's harmony. Morpheus continued forward, his steps now steady, guided by unseen hands. He touched the threads of starlight, and each touch revealed another truth. One thread showed the laughter of a child who wished for endless wonder. Another revealed a soldier's dream of peace, never spoken in his lifetime. A third revealed a poet's words, written but never read, glowing eternal. Every thread shimmered with longing, yet none carried despair, only hope. The bridge carried him onward until he reached its heart, glowing vast. Here, the light gathered into a sphere, pulsing like a living star of dreams. Morpheus stood before it, bathed in the glow of countless human desires. The sphere hummed gently, speaking not in words, but in feelings pure. It told him the sky above was a canvas painted by every beating heart. The crimson hue was the fire of longing, uniting all souls in harmony. Morpheus bowed his head, his voice soft, though the world did not hear. He whispered gratitude to the unseen chorus that had built this bridge, for he knew now that his path was to carry these truths further still. The sphere pulsed once more, then released a wave of light across the sky. The bridge shone brighter, and the crimson glow deepened into violet hues. Morpheus stepped forward, knowing the journey was far from complete. Yet within him burned the certainty that every dream had meaning, eternal. At the far end of the dream bridge, Morpheus stepped into a realm of twilight. Here, the sky was neither crimson nor violet, but a shifting sea of hues. Shadows and light intertwined, forming patterns that danced like living art. It was a place where dawn and dusk met, where opposites became whole. And waiting within this realm were two figures, radiant yet calm as stone. They were the twin spirits, known as Dawn and Dusk, keepers of balance. Morpheus approached with quiet reverence, his heart steady with respect. The spirits stood tall, their forms woven of light and shadow together. Dawn glowed with warmth, her presence soft as the first breath of morning. Dusk carried depth, his gaze dark yet filled with infinite quiet wisdom. They spoke as one, their voices entwined, echoing like wind through stars. You have walked far, Dreamweaver, to seek the truth of the crimson sky. Morpheus bowed, his voice low, carrying only the weight of listening. The twins continued, their words steady, flowing like rivers of clarity. The sky reflects balance, a mirror of the hearts that live beneath it. When longing grows too strong, the balance between day and night tilts. And so, crimson appears, not to harm, but to remind, to call, to guide. Morpheus raised his gaze, eyes shining with the reflection of their truth. He asked softly what must be done to bring harmony to the shifting light. Dawn extended her hand, glowing with golden rays of gentle awakening. She said longing was not weakness, but a thread connecting every living soul. Dusk lifted his palm, filled with shadows that curved like resting nightfall. He said that too much longing could unseat balance, leaving the world adrift. Together, their voices wove the lesson. Balance was the essence of all skies. Morpheus listened in silence, his heart carrying every word as sacred flame. He saw now that the crimson was both beauty and burden, gift and reminder. The people below longed deeply, and their dreams painted the heavens red. But without harmony, longing could consume, leaving emptiness behind. The twins stepped closer, their forms circling him like light and shadow. Dawn whispered that dreams must be shared, given breath in waking life. Dusk whispered that silence must also have space to temper every desire. Morpheus felt their words settle into his soul, clear as the rhythm of breath. Balance, he understood, was not the end of longing, but its rightful place. The crimson glow above pulsed again, as if listening to the conversation. The twins raised their hands, and the sky responded with a gentle sigh. Stars flickered faintly, their light weaving into the hues of red and gold. Morpheus lowered his head, bowing to the wisdom of dawn and dusk united. He promised silently to carry their truth into the next steps of his journey. The spirits smiled, their forms fading softly into the sea of shifting light. Only their voices remained, lingering like echoes upon the horizon's edge. "Remember, Dreamweaver," they whispered, "the sky is a mirror, nothing more. And balance is not given. It must be kept within and among all souls." With that, the twilight realm dissolved, and Morpheus walked forward again. Morpheus walked onward, carrying the wisdom of dawn and dusk within his soul. The twilight realm faded, and the world stretched wide beneath crimson hues. The path ahead was quiet, yet alive, as though the earth itself was waiting. Every step he took stirred echoes, voices rising like wind through hollow stone. They were the voices of humanity, woven together in one collective yearning. The longing was vast, too vast for one heart, yet Morpheus bore it gently. At times the weight pressed heavy, a tide threatening to pull him under. Yet, within the heaviness was beauty, a chorus that refused to fade away. He reached a clearing where the sky opened, wide and burning with color. Here the crimson deepened, glowing like fire upon an endless horizon. Morpheus felt the pull stronger than before, a call woven into every breath. And within that call lay a choice, unspoken but clear, waiting for his answer. He could ease the longing, soften its fire, bringing calm to every heart. Or he could allow the crimson to blaze brighter, a reminder none could ignore. The choice was not his alone, for it belonged to all who dreamed below. Yet the weight of it rested in his hands, delicate as a flame in the wind. Morpheus stood still, eyes fixed on the glowing horizon of crimson light. He heard the villagers' prayers, the laughter of children, the ache of silence. He felt the threads of countless dreams, stretching outward, binding all souls. To dim the light might bring peace, yet risk forgetting the depth of yearning. To let it burn might stir unrest, yet remind all of their shared desire. The sky shimmered, waiting, as though holding its breath for his decision. Morpheus closed his eyes, listening to the wisdom of the twins once more. Balance was the essence of the world, not the silence of desire, nor its flame. He whispered softly, promising to carry both peace and longing as one. His hands rose, palms open, as dreams swirled around him like drifting stars. He did not choose silence, nor did he choose fire. He chose harmony. The crimson above pulsed, shifting slightly as though moved by his will. The voices softened, yet remained steady and clear, not lost, not silenced. The horizon flickered, threads of gold weaving gently into the crimson sky. It was not the end of longing, nor its erasure, but its balance in light. Morpheus felt the world exhale, a breath of relief passing through the land. The villagers far below lifted their heads, sensing the change in the air. Children laughed, pointing at the sky now glowing with hues of red and gold. The elders wept quietly, not from fear, but from the weight of recognition. The crimson sky remained, but its fire was gentler, no longer consuming. It was a mirror, yes, but now it reflected balance alongside longing. Morpheus lowered his hands, his heart calm, his spirit steady and sure. The choice had not ended the crimson, but given it a place within harmony. He turned from the horizon, ready to walk further into the unknown beyond. For he knew this was not the final truth, but only another step forward. And within him burned the certainty that the journey was far from complete. The night deepened as Morpheus walked further, guided by the softened sky. The crimson hue now glowed with threads of violet, calm yet mysterious. Stars began to pierce the heavens, shimmering like eyes that never closed. They watched in silence, keepers of stories too ancient for human tongues. Morpheus felt their presence, not judging, but witnessing his quiet path. The air grew lighter, filled with drifting motes of silver dust, like dream ash. Each mote carried the essence of a wish once whispered into the night. Some were small, a child's hope for laughter, a hand reaching for warmth. Others were vast, the yearning for peace, the dream of unity eternal. Morpheus moved gently among them, his steps stirring their quiet glow. The motes circled him, forming a constellation that pulsed with soft rhythm. It was as though the stars themselves had descended to guide his way. He paused and raised his hand, letting the motes gather in his palm of light. Visions unfolded, dreams of kindness, of love, of harmony unbroken. He felt their weight, but it was not burden. It was purpose, clear and true. The crimson sky above seemed to bend closer, listening to his silence. The stars joined the song of longing, adding brilliance to the crimson fire. Morpheus understood then that dreams were not only whispers of night. They were promises, waiting to take shape, longing to be born in daylight. To carry them forward was not to ease them, nor to silence their call. It was to breathe life into them, to weave them gently into waking lives. The motes rose again, swirling upward into the waiting fabric of the sky. They became new stars, shining as reminders that no dream was forgotten. Morpheus smiled faintly, his eyes reflecting the endless horizon of light. He knew the villagers below would look up and see more than crimson now. They would see stars alive with their own voices, burning in gentle fire. Each flicker a reminder that their longing was shared and understood. The night grew still, and in that stillness, Morpheus felt the shift of balance. The sky no longer pressed heavily, but hummed like a steady beating heart. The choice he made had given space for longing and peace to exist as one. And now the heavens answered, not with silence, but with living stars. Morpheus continued his path, the glow of starlight guiding him forward. He heard laughter echo faintly, carried from dreams blooming in the air. He saw shadows dissolve into light, leaving only the beauty of memory. The crimson sky had softened, but its song remained, steady and eternal. It was no longer a cry, but a hymn, an anthem of unity across the earth. Morpheus lowered his head, bowing to the sky as though to an old friend. He whispered, not in command, but in gratitude, for its timeless truth. The heavens shimmered brighter, as if to bow back in silent reverence. And so he walked on, knowing the journey was nearing its final revelation. The stars above burned, the crimson glowed, and balance sang once more. The final stretch of the journey awaited, silent yet heavy with promise. Morpheus stepped into a valley where the horizon met earth and sky as one. The crimson glow lingered above, now softened with threads of golden light. Here the air was still, as though the world itself paused, waiting in reverence. The ground shimmered faintly, etched with patterns like dreams woven in stone. Each line pulsed gently, alive with the heartbeat of all who had ever hoped. Morpheus knelt, touching the earth, and felt the truth rise through his hands. It was not a place of endings, but a threshold into something timeless and vast. The voices he carried within him stirred, now clear, harmonious, and strong. No longer a chorus of longing, but a song of belonging shared by every soul. The crimson sky above began to change, not fading, but opening wider still. Within its depths, he glimpsed a horizon beyond, horizons, infinite and whole. He knew then that this was not a burden meant for one, but for all together. Dreams were never his to keep. They were gifts meant to be carried forward. The villagers' faces filled his mind, their hope, their fear, their laughter. He felt them not as distant echoes but as companions walking at his side. The valley brightened as if lit by countless unseen hands, gentle and steady. The sky responded, unfolding into hues of crimson, violet, gold, and silver. It was no longer a sky of fire, but a canvas of harmony without end or limit. Morpheus stood tall, his eyes reflecting the dawn blooming from the horizon. He raised his hands once more, not to command, but to offer what he carried. The dreams within him poured outward, rising as light into the open heavens. They scattered like seeds, planting themselves in stars, in winds, in the soil. Each dream found a place, no longer waiting, but alive in the waking world. The villagers far away stirred in their sleep, touched by visions of peace. Children dreamed of laughter, elders dreamed of wisdom carried on the wind. All dreams flowed together, woven into the vast harmony of the earth itself. The crimson sky glowed warmly, not as a warning, but as an eternal promise. Balance had been found, not through silence nor fire, but through unity. Morpheus lowered his hands, his heart light, his spirit woven with the whole. He knew the journey had reached its close, yet its truth would never end. The sky above was no longer just crimson. It was alive with every dream. It sang not of longing alone, but of the infinite beauty of shared existence. Morpheus took a final step into the horizon, embraced by the endless light. His figure faded gently, not lost, but becoming part of the sky itself forever. The world breathed deeply, at peace, its dreams carried by the crimson sky. And so the story of Morpheus was not an ending, but the beginning of all.